All right, let's get the stream going and see how this week goes. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, both some normal fun stuff like manga chapters and whatnot. Yeah, you had some upcoming things as well, and all around just see how everybody's doing, see what kind of conversational pieces we could come up with, and what exactly we can have to go over. Let's see if anybody shows up, and hopefully it goes well. But other than that, let me if anybody's here yet, let me send out a couple links, send out and see who exactly wants to come hang out and join and have a good moment of the day. Really, that's what I would like overall. I really like it when people get along, and we have some nice nerdy conversations. I just got back from SakuraCon, had some fun there. Anybody else? What's going on, Jared Punch? How's it going? How's your birthday, dude? Did you have a good time? One second. Just sending out some links and then getting to the conversations. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, how have you been, dude? What's been going on with you? I just read all the new manga chapters out from Shonen Jump. I gotta get some of the reviews on those done relatively tonight, I imagine. Probably sometime tonight, maybe a couple in the morning. Not too sure. I definitely gonna try and get at least a decent percentage out. Not 100% on that, but I definitely have some stuff to talk about. Jujutsu Kaisen was pretty fun. Hell Warden was pretty fun, and it looks like Hell Warden isn't ending. I was very paranoid on whether or not it was going to get axed, but it doesn't look like it. So that's going to be good. The last Psyche was pretty fun as well. We got some new characters. You're going to probably get some nice world building in the next couple chapters, which is going to be a good thing. What's up, JK Network? How's it going? Well, I'm glad you had a good birthday, Jared Punch. What else have you guys been up to this week? Anybody else reading anything new, checking anything out? I think I got fooled. Played the fool. If you just saw my the video I put out right before this of of essentially a big black clover potential Easter egg that I never even paid a single ounce of attention to, and at this point now I'm just completely and utterly left dumbfounded of how good it was to really see it up. And at that point I was just didn't really know how else to take it. Yeah, happy Easter to you too. I haven't really done anything for Easter. I just went back to the con today. I bought some stuff, and that's about it. I'm not anywhere. I'm not within really close distance to any family for Easter. So for me, my Easter is mostly just kind of like sitting around. But what have you guys been up to? You find anything fun? Find anything fun to do? Find anything fun to talk about? I'm gonna check out Chainsaw Man. Yeah, dude, Chainsaw Man is awesome. Chainsaw Man is so much fun. Chainsaw Man legitimately is one of the funnest manga I've read in a while, and I really want more people to start checking it out. There's a lot of really fun new manga. Gambler's Parade, The Last Sayuki, Hell Warden Haguma, Eden Zero, but Eden Zero has Hiromishima's name on it, so it's got a lot more. It's got a lot more potential kind of cred. Whereas a lot of these other ones are from stuff a lot of people probably haven't heard of. Like, not a lot of people have read Fire Punch, but just like going into Chainsaw Man, like I never finished Fire Punch, but I imagine the rest of it's gonna be pretty wild when I get back to it after reading some more of the extent of Chainsaw Man. I should be able to catch up to Black Clover in My Academia soon. School's over for me. Oh, that's good. Wait, it's what, April? Oh yeah, it's almost. I've been out of high school for a while, so I forget all about like school times and summer and when exactly it starts. Who do you think is gonna be tougher to beat, Igni or Kaido? Igni. Kaido, I feel Luffy's already gotten like, hey, if I master this power, then I should be able to beat Kaido. I should be able to break his scales. And then it was that other, whatever that guy's name is, Hyogo Mano or whatever. He's just like, hey, I conveniently have the skill in order to in order to teach you this thing, the convenient thing that you need just for this exact moment. But Igni just seems all around more powerful. He seems like a bigger threat. Kaido seems like he's got a longer history of hype behind him. but it kind of doesn't seem to be able, like, he's gonna hold the same level that Ignia has. But honestly, I've been thinking a lot about Black Clover today because I just got back from a con. I saw a fair amount of Black Clover cosplayers, and then if you checked out, like I said, the video I just did, I've been really like wishing that I just bought these cards the last time I saw them, so I could really kind of talk about this whole reveal, because it's such an interesting kind of like twist that holds a very heavy, like, it's been right in front of you the whole time reveal, which again is hilarious, but at the same time it just makes me look silly. Luffy's Awakening is what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about a lot with a lot of One Piece people. Is I don't get why Oda gave Luffy the advanced observation hockey, and then he's giving him the advanced armament hockey, when he could have just given him Awakening, and then we could have saw him work through that, because now it just seems like Luffy gets everything, and I'm not too keen on that. I haven't been too keen on a lot of things Oda's been doing with Luffy lately. Relatively, actually, since like Dressrosa, I haven't been enjoying Luffy as much as I did before the time skip. I used to really enjoy him, but I haven't really liked him a whole lot since, like I said, the time skip. I didn't like Bound Man. I like Snake Man, but at the same time, just the whole kind of thing with him getting pretty much every single power that comes along, it seems kind of unfair. Again, it's kind of like how I feel about Deku getting so many quirks. What's up, Multi Hussein 2000? How's it going? Yami was actually freaking out when he saw the Devil Witch's Grimoire, which is cool, surprising because he always keeps it cool. Yeah, that was really interesting to see, just to see Yami just completely losing his shit, because it was such a horrific sight to him. And I really do like looking at that monster. Like, overall, I think the thing that makes it way more interesting than I think the piece that ties that whole like horrific thing together for that monster is those like tentacle strands, or like slimy, like just tendrils that are like going up into the ceiling, and the way that it just looks like some horrific creature that's been like living in in some dark room in a dungeon. You just came across it, and now it's full on after you. Horrific. Definitely pretty spooky. What if the first Wizard King statue was just the rest of Yuno's Awakening? I mean, there's a lot of things that it could be, but I think that the amount of evidence, the amount of material that people have come up with that Nero is the first Wizard King is pretty good. It's pretty solid. It'll be really interesting to see how it develops in the next few chapters, but also, like, what's it gonna do further along the line? Because we don't know a lot about the Wizard King. Like, the only one we really know is Julius. We don't know anything about the first one, or even any of the Wizard Kings between the first one and Julius. We only really know Julius. So we don't know what exactly we're going to get with them, and then what exactly it's going to be like after this arc, leading into really what we have no idea the way that Black Clover is going to go to after this. Because, again, this is a really crazy arc. It's been such a wild ride, and there's been so many big reveals and world building aspects, and new doors opened and old doors closed, that just the next arc, who knows what the hell it's going to be. I mean, it could be a time skip to a relatively far off point in the future. It could be just long enough that they could get away, or who knows what's going to happen. Because like, this demon is real spooky, and we've only seen him not drop one spell, and it's completely just made Yami like lose all calmness and start freaking out. I wonder if that thing has any other abilities that we haven't seen. It just has like this regeneration. Maybe it probably has like some magic draining or something with those spooky little tentacle pieces. What's up, Elric? What's up, Sammy? How's it going? How you guys been? Zach Stevens. Yeah, Julius is the 28th. Yeah, I always got 28th and 26th messed up, but yeah, there's so many before him that we haven't even seen, or really we haven't even gotten names for. Like 28 of them, we only really know Yami's name, and the only other one we know anything about is the first Wizard King. All we really know is his magic and his face. We don't know much about that whole history at all. And there's so much that we could still get just coming off of all that unknown information and stuff. Just saw the Black Clover card game video. Yeah, that was like I said, it was a really nice kind of like teaser. I feel like it wasn't coincidental. I feel like it was on purpose. Do you think the scientists are dead? Like maybe Herbert killed them? They've got to be dead. There's no way that she left them alive. There has to be something like she blew up that machine by hacking into it or something. Something like that. I mean, we'll see. It might come back to to be a bigger thing later. Oh, thanks, Multi Hussein. I'm glad that you liked the video. Yeah, I was literally looking at the cards because I bought them, and I was just like, oh, cool. I wonder what each of the things are. And then I saw the king, and I saw it as narrow, and I was like, wait a second. What does this mean? What have they been trying to tell me? Demon is nightmare for he's spooky. It's the lack of like acknowledgement to taking damage, I think, is the thing that makes him the spookiest. Because it doesn't look, he's not like, oh, ow, that hurt, or like, oh, this is inconvenience. Like, he doesn't even pay attention to when he takes damage until after the fact. It doesn't look like it bothered him at all. Dude's spooky. You should read Dawn's Adventure in Another World. Yeah, I'll think about it. There's a couple of things that I've lined up that I need to read before I get to that. Yeah, Hype Stream. Thanks, Sammy. How's it going? Sammy just hit 10,000. If you want to go check out his channel, just hit 10,000 subscribers. He's getting there. He's riding up the chain. Light novels. Yeah, I read mostly manga. There's a couple Korean and Chinese manga that I follow. I haven't checked up on some of them in a while, so I gotta get back to that at some point. And then Radiant, I guess, since I do read Radiant, I haven't read it in a while, but I still have the volumes. I think up to 4 right now. They're out in America, so I'll get back to that soon. Yeah, so so if the statue brings back the first Wizard King and he beats the demon, you think that'll be a huge cop out? I think that if he comes back, it'll have to be a group fight. Like I feel like if I don't think Tabata is. I don't think he would do that because he's clearly got a big plan in mind. He's got a lot of things he's building up. I don't think there's been anything in Black Clover introduced that he hasn't already had a plan for. I don't think he's put anything in there that he, says I'll figure it out later. He seems pretty well prepared, and I just don't see him copping out something like that. It just doesn't feel like anything of his style. I mean, it's possible, but I doubt it. He seems very much somebody who plans ahead and gets this whole scheme going before he puts it out there. What's I said? What's up, Elric? Yeah, it was a good video. I appreciate it. Happy Easter to you too. Yeah, like I said, I haven't really done anything for Easter. Maybe I guess I went to a con, but I didn't do any Easter related things. I just went and did something. Even with Julius's captain, we never saw the other Wizard King. Yeah, we don't even know their names. I don't think we've heard another name. I don't think we've seen any paintings or anything. There's probably a hall somewhere in there in the castle that shows all the other Wizard Kings like before him. I feel like that's just a thing. Maybe we'll see it whenever they mourn, whenever they have Julius's funeral. That's my guess. Also, it's somewhat confirmed the devil's restriction with his magic. Like I said, he can't say die, kill. Also, there was definitely going to be restrictions because otherwise he could just tell people to die. I felt like that was just one of the normal kind of setups and the way that his magic works. If it had no restrictions, then he would be unstoppable. The thing about, though, I was interested in the fact that he can't counter Yami's darkness magic. And I'm wondering if it means he can't use holy magic or specific light magics. Because since light and darkness magic kind of, they work against each other and how they are. So that's just my guess. I'm guessing that's how it's going to kind of roll into that. The things that he can't really counter are the reasons because he can't use whatever it is opposing it. It's kind of like with because Spirit Storm is a wind technique, but he used vacuum wall, so it created a vacuum, and all the wind just kind of moved it out. So we know the way that he's been countering other people's abilities is with little counters to whatever they are, and we know that counters in Black Clover worked very well against whatever they're at. It's not just like a straight it gives a resistance. It's a very strong, heavy counter system, which is good. And I'm enjoying seeing it like that. 528 Wizard Kings. It's each Wizard King has worked for around 13.2 years. That sounds about right. I read My Hero Academia. It looks like Toga is getting her own little backstory. Yeah, I'm wondering what Toga's gonna do to advance, because there's obviously a lot of the characters with their powers, they figure out ways to to improve them in order to keep getting stronger and learn new techniques, new styles. I'm very curious what Toga's is, because hers is that she takes people's blood and then can take their form and use their abilities for a certain amount of time. So I'm wondering maybe if her thing will be like gathering blood samples from maybe she's got connections and get some important people. It's something that we haven't more of a prep style rather than a just straight like upgrade, or maybe she'll combine bloods. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe combine like two different bloods in order to have like a hybrid form between two characters. That'd be really interesting, and I think it would give a really um, really spooky extra tone to her. Or maybe there'll just be a level that we haven't seen, that it goes beyond just the way that she intakes blood now. Who knows? We'll see soon. That was an interesting chapter. Poor Hermit. There's no telling what else happened. Or yeah, she kept getting dismantled and put back together. I can't remember. I think there was I have to look into. I recall something happened to a different character, but I don't remember which character it was. Just like being dismantled a lot, put back together. And good for Sammy. This mighty 10K. I see Hermit's flashback ending. Depression. She's just gonna be. Is this gonna be more sadness of her just being like, huh? I didn't know it was gonna get this shitty. Well, this is unfortunate for me. But yeah, poor Hermit. Poor guy didn't know what was coming. Yeah, volume 4 is latest out, and I believe volume 5 is in May for rating. Good. I like volume 4 is the one that had General Torque on it, which is pretty cool. That dude just looks like a badass. I'll read through them again soon. I've been reading a bunch of other series, and I'm wondering if the website I have that I usually go to has it all digital, or if I'm gonna need to or just use the physical copies that I have. Because obviously it's easier to read digital when I'm out doing stuff. I'll take a 10-minute break from work, read a little bit. You think the devil will escape? That's one of the things I'm also considering, is if he leaves. Because I think it would be a good point is if he had to flee for some reason, leave, and then go to some form of meetup point, and maybe we'll see some other demons that have been doing, pretty much similar things in other countries in order to get physical bodies. So I talked about, I think that there might be, a crew similar to something like the Akatsuki, or, just think of any bad guy group from Masked Criminals, Phantom Troop, anything like that, but something like with demons for Black Clover. I think that'll be fun. It's definitely a point that I'm very interested to see, because if it's from other countries, maybe they're all going to have different kind of demonic designs. With this demon, we have more of a very spooky biblical kind of feel. Maybe if we got one from like the land of the sun where Yami's from, it could be more of a Japanese demon, or maybe if we got one from the Diamond Kingdom, it could be more of a, because obviously dwarven. What would be what's a dwarven monster? I don't have to look. I guess we don't know a whole lot about their society, but I don't know. Give it a different kind of like mythological demon kind of design, because there's obviously a lot of different ones throughout the world and in real life. So you just based them off of some of those different designs, which would be pretty cool. I think that would be a lot of fun and give them a lot of different tone and feel to them. Definitely would be enjoyable. I think we'll get it set up for a new villain arc after the Elf arc. Yeah, I think so too. Because we don't even know what this guy's scheme is yet. We don't know what he's really planning other than to get a body. Like, what's he going to do after that? Do you think Vito Fauna and the other elves will find out with the devil and help Asta the Gate fight the Lord? Yeah, they're all going to need to team up. They all need to team up. They're all going to need to group up to go against. What's up, Pegasus Saya? I don't know if I've seen you in the streams before, but other than that, welcome. How's it going, dude? Let's talking about a little bit of different manga stuff. Right now, obviously, Black Clover, if you've been listening to the conversation. But anything that you think I might read or you want to talk about, just ask me the question, and I'll get to it and tell you what I think about, said question. But what else do we get? Do you think that I read that? Pretty sure everyone in the palace felt the demon's dimension magic. Yeah, that was pretty sick. I'm very spooked out by that. That was really cool. The way that he just kind of like had this, that spooky kind of circle to him, and it definitely again made me think of have a little bit of memory back to the Eclipse and Berserk, because we already know that Tabata's favorite manga is Berserk, and there's a good amount of parts in Black Clover you can tie towards a scene from Berserk where you probably got inspiration, and you just know that's always going to lead down a dark path, just having it kind of in any way associated with Berserk. What's my favorite Black Clover character? It's between Zora and Mereoleona. Sometimes Toga is really more insane than Shigaraki, Bad Touch, as I like to call him, and that's saying something. And she seems like a wild gal. She seems like she's much more interested in whatever she can get away with whenever they're doing a mission rather than her own like big scheme. Yeah, Toga's definitely off the hinges. She's a crazy bitch. Do you think God Serena would have been a decent match for Gildarts? Yeah, we didn't really see much. We didn't really see much of poor God Serena before he got dicked both times he fought. I watched the episode of the anime. I'm hoping they at least give like a solid minute of a fight scene between Gildarts and God Serena, and not just have it be almost entirely off paneled. I actually really like the scene in the anime when you have the 8 dragon heads come out and then he jumps off of them. And in the anime they made all of them a different color, which I thought was pretty cool. Added a little bit extra flavor to it. I really hope that if we don't even get in a fight, all I can ask is that they show all 8 elements for God Serena, because we only know 4 for sure. There's a hint at lightning, but what's the other 3? What are the ones we don't know about? Why couldn't they just show 3 attacks more? Like, why did Hiroshima do that? That was such a confusing part. Like, I feel bad for God Serena. Dude just kept getting dick left and right. With the way Pina is treated by Sibber, I'm not surprised she doesn't hate humans like Hermit. She didn't have it as bad as Hermit. Like, Hermit ended up like destroying a planet. I felt pretty bad for her, and then she got tortured afterwards. It's pretty unfortunate. True Toga's definitely going over hinges. Yeah, she's crazy ass. Yeah, you find it funny how casually the demon has been acting the last few chapters. He's never been shown to be no other word. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I think is really creepy about him. Like, people are talking about his design, the way he talks. It's the way that his expressions are that kind of creep me out. Is because he just kind of comes off as nothing so far as a threat or interests him or has any form of impact on what he's doing. It just seems like he's doing, as he's going about, moving from point A to B, he's just he's just admiring whatever's going on around him. Dude's a spooky dude. Definitely a spooky dude. Yeah, no trust towards that dude. No trust to him at all. Think Black Clover will get a time skip? Yeah, I do think Black Clover is going to get a time skip, because everything that we've seen so far, it seems like Tabata is really set up to what you can really see is like Black Clover Part 1, and everything after this will probably be set up for another big kind of like story that intertwines with it into other aspects, because everything we've seen really so far again has led up to this. So I feel like a time skip will happen, and then we'll start getting new information, new plot lines, new story aspects, new characters after this arc, and it will be opening up to a lot of new stuff. Especially, like, I still believe that the elves and the humans are going to have to kind of join up together after this one. Like, the demon is not someone that they can fight individually. They're going to have to get literally all their crew together in order to go after this dude. Especially if they don't know what exactly if they don't know what his scheme is. Rex in the last Fairy Tail episode, Larkin literally has a rainbow behind him when he activates his magic. I actually really liked that. I thought it was really interesting looking. I thought it added a little bit of extra flair to his character. I enjoy it when they do stuff like that. That gives it, it just gives it a little bit of flavor, as I said. I just thought it was really interesting to see kind of like Larcade go around, him looking very holy with this like rainbow ring behind him and that kind of like starlight. It was so really, it just looked appealing to the eye, and it kind of like adds that extra layer to Larcade of not coming off. He doesn't seem like evil, wicked as a villain. He seems like a good guy that's really trying to do what he thinks is good, but in reality it's bad, and it's just the kind of like the motivation behind it. Very interesting. I always liked Arcade. I like the concept behind him. I like his design, and I like that they added that little bit extra to his character. What's up, Andres? How's it going? Mercenary. I'm pretty sure that the demon can't use its word magic to open the door and leave. Yeah, I'm wondering what exactly his ability is. It seems more like he can't directly affect other people, and he can only affect real time. Like he can't change the past, and he can't set something in the future. We'll definitely see more restrictions as it's going on because they're taking notes on exactly what it's capable of. But then again, we now have the upgraded version with the grimoire, and we don't even know how that's gonna go. I'm wondering what other monsters we're gonna see in Pullover because that's definitely gonna be really fun. Because something, if you've I've talked to it a few times, just mentioned it. Something to note about me is I love monster designs. I've always really liked looking at interesting looking spooky monsters, and that's what I liked about just as the aesthetic from in the last Black Clover chapter is it looked really cool. But as I said early in the stream, once it was the point where he summoned the demon, or I guess even a monster from the dimension where the demons are from. It looks spooky, but that like extra small bit where he has those like slimy looking tentacles or whatever they would be, tendrils stuck up to the ceiling is it was such a small addition that added like a huge extra bit of just like horrific style monster given to this creature. And I really like that because I said it looked like it was something that was in like a room in a dungeon, and it's just been living in there, festering and just starting to meld with the environment. And it just adds again like just such a weird extra tone to it. It was just such a fun part of the chapter to get to, and I love looking back on it. It just, like I said, I'm having a little bit of hard trouble like getting the proper words out, but it's I would say it's just such a nice stimulation when you look at some like a difference between like, hey, a cyclops to like a monster that the author is like, I'm gonna create it from scratch and I'm gonna create this, whatever I want it to be. And Tabata did. He created this big creepy blob thing with what looks like a bunch of small slugs latched onto it. Definitely spooky, super spooky. Let me scroll down. Demon Slayer sword, the big sword, gets from Berserk. Yeah, the Tabata's favorite manga is Berserk. It's no surprise that his main character also has a giant greatsword. Seeking God Serena, when he summoned the multicolored elemental dragons, I think one of them was poison. Yeah, I really want to know what the other ones are. Even if it's just like a scene where he literally just says something dragons attack, and then it doesn't even have to do a lot. I just wanted to know like what he's got. I've been very curious about that since finding out, and he still don't have anything on him. What are your thoughts on Luck being related to a noble, and the family is Charlotte, Sufo, and Carla are elf siblings, and they are possessed by these two? I don't know, it'd be interesting. I just like as long as it doesn't hurt Luck's backstory, I'm fine with it. As long as it's able to complement it or add an extra direction for it, that'll be fine. As long as it just doesn't try and write out something about his mom and try and make her seem kinder. I'm about to take a quick shot at Naruto because I remember they doing that. They did that with Gaara and Gaara's mom and their backstory, and it kind of like it took out a little bit of the thing that made Gaara kind of just in his spot as Gaara, is that he had this messed up backstory and his everything that seemed against him until meeting Naruto and everyone that became his friends. And if it was just more like what he perceived rather than whether people told him, but not reality, I just was never a fan of that. I don't want that to happen with Luck at all. So how was the watching of Mahime coming along? I know I was planning on finishing my watch up this week, but I went to I went to SoccerCon over the week, and I'm sorry, Andres, it's still coming. It's still coming. Don't worry. It's still gonna be here. I haven't forgotten about it. I'm going to read it soon. I'm also still gonna read Pandora Hearts. Don't worry. I realized that today is I was like, because I realized I hadn't watched the new Kimetsu no Yaiba episode. And I was like, isn't there something else I was planning on watching? And I remembered, and I still have the tab open on my computer for the episode I was on. And I feel ridiculous. Well, what strategies for Fairy Tail can match Light in terms of intellect? Light Yagami? Probably Mavis. I mean, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of characters in Fairy Tail. They're smart people, but there aren't a lot of like I'm a strategist kind of guy. It's really just Mavis. Mavis is the only one that's like heavy strategic. That Mavis. You think? That's why I almost said George in the initial review, and then I put how to spell his name, and I just did like text to speech in Georg. So I'm just gonna go with Georg from now on. Do you think Georg from Diabolos is Gildarts or Spriggan level? Yeah, definitely. He's got to be enough that the other Dragon Eaters all respect him and listen to what he has to say. Like he can't be a pussy. The dude's gonna have to be a beast, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what exactly his type is, what exactly his attribute is. I think there's definitely some Easter eggs there. Like I said, in his name, Georg, the first letter is geomancy, or earth and mineral manipulation, as well as, on his bracers and armbands are diamonds. Definitely something to look at. And just maybe go, where could this be going? Because if you think about it, that if it was minerals, the person that could fight him that'd be pretty fun and unexpected would be Gadgil. You have metal as iron, or if he ends up getting steel again, versus minerals, and then that way he could have his own fight. He can have his own big thing. Well, you have these other characters, Natsu go against more of like the dragon gods or other big characters, so other people can get their own spotlight moments, which would be very much appreciated. So I always liked Gadgil, but he always just kind of getting left behind for not being a direct main cast character, Merleona, aka Siskelion, is killing the beasts in the neutral zone. So is there a beast you remember the boars with fire on the horns from episode 11 of the anime? Yeah, I'm wondering. We haven't seen a lot of like magical creatures in Black Clover. That's one of the things I think is going to be really interesting if the demon like melds his dimension with theirs, and so you're gonna have like these monsters go around. Because then you could have that as a whole new thing to Black Clover. It's just like, okay, we're on call. The Clover Kingdom, they get a report that one of the demons is, just popped up outside of some village, and they have to go fight it, and then just literally to have a boss fight against this big, horrific, demonic animal from another dimension. Definitely something that could add a whole new flair to the series, which would be pretty cool. Definitely good stuff. Langris is a massive dick. Factual. Definitely factual. Oh god, I lost my place. Okay, there we go. You think Demaria and Wall are evil? They had no remorse for killing to toy and kill people to be enjoyed. They didn't seem evil. I mean, they seemed like they were enjoying, the job in the war, but they didn't seem malefic. Irene definitely seemed evil, for sure. Because a lot of the thing that I liked about Albrecht is a lot of the characters. It didn't seem like they were, I'm a bad guy, I'm here to do bad guy stuff. It seemed more like they were doing what their side thought was right, as it's a war, at a point of a war. It's really, who's good and who's bad is clearly dependent on what side you're on. I think Luck's mother had sex with a noble, which is why he never met his father. I mean, again, that as long as it makes sense, I'm okay with it. I just don't want it to do anything that could hinder his backstory, anything that could potentially hurt some of the stuff that really was the staple of how we knew Luck. Have you read the new Last Saiki and Howard and Naguma chapters? I did. I liked them. I thought they were fun. Definitely enjoying them. Last Saiki and Howard and Haguma were definitely fun this week. Howard and Haguma was like falling down a little bit, and then the last like 2 chapters I've been really enjoying. Last like 3. Since we get to the flashback, I've been really enjoying it. The Akagame guy is pretty spooky. I definitely like him. We have no backstory about Charmy. Not yet, you mean. You think August knew Bradish, saved Mira, but let it go? Found it doubtful he didn't know, given how smart he is. Yeah, I doubt he would have cared at that point, because they said he's the most reasonable out of the Spriggan 12, so, I doubt he'd be, like, turning around and be like, oh, let me kill her again. And he only did it so they would get, so Irene would listen to him. Like, he didn't do it just to be like, haha, I'm gonna kill someone. Again, that's one of the things I liked about the Albrecht is a lot of the characters didn't come off as malefic villains. And the Tartarus, you could kind of like see more of it, of like see them more as villains, but in reality, it's kind of a similar situation where they were doing what they thought was right. You know, it's in their DNA. It's literally in that what they were created for. But I think it was much more apparent in Albrecht, because a lot of the members of I was like, look at Brandish. He was just like, if I don't have to fight, then I don't need to fight. You know, I'd rather just settle this without conflict, which is really nice. One thing we know about Charmy is that she's half elf, or half dwarf, rather. Sorry. Well, I have to leave because my parents are watching a movie and won't take no for an answer. Are you gonna watch a movie? What movie are you watching? What movie are you watching? Isn't Zeref smarter than Mavis? Though maybe Zeref seems like way more of a schemer than Mavis, but Mavis seems smarter. Like, you know, drop the hammer, drop the ball, drop of the hat. Like, if you just put them in front of each other and said, you know, try and outsmart the other, I think she would probably be able to figure out, you know, a better scheme. But you give him a long period of time, I think Zeref would have a much better plan worked out, much better, relatively everything to what exactly he sees going on for him. But Mavis was more of a Mavis seemed much more of like an understanding people kind of strategist, obviously, because she goes at it of like, how does this person think? How is the military given their past and whatnot? Like back when we saw some more of the moments when she, you know, the title fairy strategist, or was it tactician, fairy tactician, whatever. That it was much more of like military mind games, where Zeref's like intelligence is in like understanding magic and just being a magical prodigy, rather than just being like what could be labeled as smart. Like both of them have their own set areas where you can put it at. This is the first time I heard Yami say he was running out of mana. Yeah, he's definitely running out of Urza versus Gadgil. Well, Gadgil would probably win because, you know, he could eat her swords, but he's also way more durable than she is, given that he was able to keep standing from attacks from Acnologia. There's a theory going around that Luck is related to the god Thor. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it. I'm wondering what he's going to really. It's really going to go further of what exactly he plans on doing. I feel like if you can't just assume he's gonna be Thor related origin because he's got Thor in his attack name. You know, because it's like saying like what's his name? William is gonna have to somehow be directly tied to Yggdrasil because, you know, he's got a Yggdrasil named spell, when the actual Yggdrasil is a world tree and much bigger than the one we saw. So we can't just assume things that are existent or, you know, inside of Black Clover, because a lot of times rather, characters will have an attack name and it's just an attack name. He could be related to him somehow. You know, we haven't really figured out much about it. Maybe the thing about Luck and why he also loves fighting so much is maybe his dad was a pretty much a Viking, and they stopped in the kingdom, and for like a short period of time they had like a stop, they had to get supplies and stuff, and then Luck's mom, you know, hooked up with him, and that's why he's got, like, you know, Thor related stuff. He's all about fighting. He's just got Viking blood in him. Who knows? Definitely going to be an interesting thing along the line, if ever like decided to be explored upon. We need more Charmy backstory. Yeah, eventually we will. Brandish is the best girl. I do like Brandish. Irene though, thick milk, dude. After the arc, I think we're getting a Valkyrie arc or Drac and Joe. We're probably gonna get to Drac and Joe, because Drac and Joe is probably gonna be the boss to beat in order for them to leave the Sakura Cosmos, and I feel like that would be the most optimal next guy, because we also know that Drac and Joe has more influence, not influence, I'd say more presence going on right now, with the fact that we had Gia apparently is after him, so, you know, he's going to be a known thing again. Jamilov, obviously the guy that they're dealing with still, is directly tied to him. So I see that I see Drac and Joe being the next big arc opponent. So I don't know what they would do in between this arc and the next one. If not, it just feels like it to me, at least. Especially since we're chapter 41 next, so we're closing up to the whole year. It's like Eden Zero came out in what, June? I think June, and it's April, so just 2 months. What Black Clover character do you want to learn about more? Right now, I really want to know more about. I really want to know more about Zora. I want to know what Zora's been doing. We only know some of the outlines of stuff about it. I want to see what it was like the first like span of time where he's just like, I'm gonna go around and just attacking magic knights and people that he thinks is corrupt and that he needs to deal with. Definitely gonna be interesting to see more of Zora backstories, because Zora's just a fun character in all aspects. Definitely looking forward to more of him. Luck being the bastard son of a noble makes more sense. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like I said, as long as it doesn't do anything to tamper with his story already to what it's kind of constructed as, then I'm fine with it. As long as it doesn't hurt it. Yami versus Hades with his devil heart. Well, it would depend whoever gets off Dimension Slash or Amaterasu 100. Obviously, Hades has more going on for him than Yami does. I would put my money more on Hades for right now, just because of that. His magical power is all around way bigger. He's got more combat experience. There's a lot more that he's got under his belt than Yami. Because Yami only in that fight really has Dimension Slash. Because obviously that's a big attack. That's his most powerful known spell. And it's going to take out most characters. But that's all he's really got in that case scenario. Whereas Hades has a ton of stuff he could just drop on him. Lay down the hammer. Hades just an all-around powerful, like well-experienced and knowledgeable mage wizard man. Hey, what's up, Joshua Light? How's it going, dude? I wish Cobra had more relevance in the Alvarez horror. The thing about Cobra that's actually really interesting is if you include the spin-offs, because he's in one of the arcs of Road Knight with Gadgil, but he's also in the Starry Sky arc. So when you include stuff like that, which are both canon, it really just makes it adds so much for Cobra. Because one of the things about Cobra is if you take those out, he doesn't have a whole lot going on from in the manga, because you really just get the Racion Seis arc, you get a little bit in the Grand Magic games, you get a little bit sprinkled throughout Tartarus and Albreth. That's it. But then when you get Road Knight, you also get a whole part where he's teamed up with Gadgil. In Starry Sky arc, he's an antagonist again, but at the same time, you can see him kind of wanting to reform. He's obviously got his whole plan kind of set up to what he wants. Very interesting. Very interesting to give that extra bit to him. I want to see Jack's past. Yeah, Jack's very interesting, because I feel like he's going to have a criminal backstory to him to kind of also like play into that whole Jack the Ripper theme and just basing out of. Which Black Clover character do you want to learn Ki? Well, it would have to be another like close combat character. Like who would be really good with Ki? Or maybe another like schemer. Like put it on Zora. Zora would probably be good. They could probably help him, lay out spells more. But probably someone like Luck, I think, would be a really good choice, just because Luck obviously is very speed and close combat orientated. What new techniques do you think Asta will learn in the future? Asta's much more of a straight sword guy, and then techniques are way less of it, because each of his swords is pretty much a technique by itself, because they all have their own abilities. And I feel like each of his swords is going to also have its own thing, because like the new one, he could actually develop a new ability where he has like maybe like a frontal thrust, like anti-magic kind of attack, because we saw it when he was blocking Patri's, his judgment cannon, and while he was blocking it with his main sword, he had the Demon Destroyer sword behind him, and he had those big like anti-magic kind of like tendrils coming up and affecting it, hitting directly on it. So you can imagine something like that again, or maybe something like maybe you have just like an AoE shockwave of anti-magic for like very fast close range, instead of something like Black Hurricane, which obviously is going to it's going to need more of a charge up. It's going to need he's going to need more room. It would be probably easier to dodge because Black Hurricane seems to be much more of a small kind of like speed, like movement based one versus like if you had one of those Demon Destroyer sword, it could literally just be like a quick specific area, tag that out, and then hopefully if they as long as they didn't move out of that within that span, bam, you just canceled out like a buff or something they had on them. They just wasted a spell. Would be good. That'd be good stuff. I think Jacob could be a good match for Cobra because if Cobra turns invisible, he can hear him. Well, the thing about stealth, you assume with stealth that he wouldn't be able to hear him just because the way that the stealth works is you'd only be able to know he's there if he himself talks. Because otherwise, if you could mind read him, telepathy isn't telepathy is like one of the most common magics in fairy tales. So like even normal telepathy, he should be able to counteract. So I don't think Cobra would have that advantage on him. Maybe if he used like a sound magic, some form of paint, it would probably be better. Throw paint on the motherfucker. Jack would be amazing with Key. Jack would be cool. I like Jack, but I feel like him. I don't know if he'd get Key. He's already far enough down the line. Dude needs some more spells. Do you think Key will advance into something new? Maybe. We'll see whenever they go to the Land of the Sun. Because we don't know anything about their land. We don't know anything about how they go about stuff. If they don't have magic of their own or how they operate. Do you think it's crazy that Cobra almost beat Urza in the Key to the Starry Sky arc? Well, yeah, Cobra's really powerful. Cobra's always been powerful. Cobra's a good dude. And then he had those sound palms where, you use sound, you just say fucks to someone's durability, it goes right through. Would be happy if Black Clover would have something like Bankai and Bleach and their swords. That'd be cool. Well, something I think would be really interesting, like if instead each of Asta's swords gave him a slightly different form, which would be pretty sick. Like maybe the wing was different, maybe the horn shape was different, and maybe like the way that the anti-magic like creeps up on his body, maybe the pattern was a little bit different. I mean, that'd be fun. I mean, I like what's going on now regardless, though. It would be cool to see if he had, like, a sword form. I mean, the character's getting Spirit Dive, or an equivalent. It's pretty much, like, would be that right now. Because Asta's Bankai is pretty much his anti-magic form. Who do you think made a dumber decision between Sasuke trying to kill his friends and Gray trying to kill Natsu because he was E&D and lost Julia? Well, Sasuke's made no sense. Like, Sasuke just, every 10 minutes, he had a different goal, and he wanted to just go around like, oh, I'll kill all my friends so I can save everybody, and unite the world under fear. And I was just like, Sasuke, you've literally just thought of this off the top of your head. Stop. You don't have a plan. Gray obviously knew that Natsu was a huge kind of tie into E&D, and both him and Zeref were kind of like, they were kind of in a way responsible for a lot of the stuff that happened to Gray. I think his was much more of like grief centered because once he calmed down after he saw Julia was alive, but at the same time he also clearly had a lot kind of weighing him down. We saw when he tried to use the ice shell again. He's definitely had a lot hitting him. Rob Lucci versus Vito. Vito would fucking maul Rob Lucci. That's not a fight. Rob Lucci's like strong, but Vito is so much more powerful, and he's got regeneration, and he's way more versatile. Who do you think Yuno will be related to? Do you think Yuno will be related to a royal or noble family member? I mean, I don't think he himself will, but I think the elf relation would be more interesting. Depends on what we get on exactly Yuno and Asta's backstory. Actually, it'd probably be more interesting if Asta was like noble born, but he didn't have any magic, so they just got rid of him, and so he had a potential good life, but just got fucked over even more. Poor guy. That'd be pretty unfortunate. Yeah, that's pretty much Sasuke. Fucking Bakugo, though, the difference between a lot of, like, the rival characters and Bakugo is Bakugo, like, you're like, why are you so pissed off? You must have had a bad backstory. You must have had some, like, tragedy in your life. And it's just like, no. I'm just being a dick. He's just a dick all the time. Like, I like Bakugo, but his reasoning for being such an asshole, I don't know. I've never thought it made sense. It just made him look like a douchebag. Who do you think is more obsessed with revenge, Sasuke or the Goblin Slayer? The Goblin Slayer, because he literally will turn everything that he comes across in his mind to figure out a way to use it to kill goblins. Like, it wasn't just like, hey, I think this ice cream tastes real good. How does it work? How did you make this? And he's like, huh, I could probably use that to kill goblins. You could probably tell him how. You could probably explain to him how, like, cooking fat with things can make it taste good. Like, just the thing, like, yeah, use these fats and oils, and it'll just taste better. And he'd be like, I wonder if I could use that to kill some goblins. Well, Grimjow was an asshole for no reason as well. Yeah, but Grimjow was not an asshole for no reason. Grimjow grew up in. It's really growing up because they didn't have their memories in Waco Mundo, which was a straight like kill or be killed kind of like place for who knows how long. Bakugo was just some dude who went to school, and then as a kid he developed like some superiority complex when he became an asshole, and he keeps needing to be saved by other people, and yet he's still an asshole. I would definitely not say that Grimjow didn't have a reason to it. Grimjow definitely had a reason to what he was doing, or to what his personality was like, and just being a dick. He was also a villain, though, versus Bakugo, who's supposed to be a good guy. Patriot is king of revenge. Patriot, he's getting there. Let's see. Who do you think has more hatred in their heart? Licked when he hated humans and Goblin Slayer for goblins. Definitely the Goblin Slayer. Again, he's too obsessed. Deku would probably be extremely upset if All for One was the reason why he was quirkless. I feel like he wouldn't. I feel like at this point he wouldn't care. I think he would probably be like, wow, that's really piece of shit, dude. You made a lot of parts of my life pretty ass. And then I don't think he would be like devastated. When he hears that, it should just be like a damn, that's a big plot twist that you did to me. Like, but I don't feel like it should be something like that, like crushes or rattles his being. Remember when Bakugo told his mom that he'll kill her, and his mom told him to shut up? Yeah, Bakugo just seems. If My Hero Academia was realistic, Bakugo would be on a watch list because he seems like a guy that would end up being a serial killer a lot of the time. Like, what was his name that he was gonna go by? This superhero name originally, like King Explosion Murder. Like, okay, dude, you don't definitely come off as a goddamn psychopath. Yep, you're totally sane. Let's clap to this guy. He's gonna make a great hero. King Explosion Murder. We got it, guys. What's up, Elric? How's it going? Seiko Grimjow, do you like the new form he got in Bracelets? Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm salty that the Kate for Your Own World novel is the only place where a lot of Bleach is still going on. I wish they had a manga for it so I could read it. And then they got all these cool new forms for people. And then he's also coming to Jump Force, so I'm wondering if they're going to include that in his Jump Force character, which I hope so. He's one of the only ones that I'm interested in. Like, the 9 DLC characters, I'm interested in Kaiba, Bakugo, Grimjow, and maybe Madara. I'm real disappointed with the DLC characters for the most part, because there's no new series they're adding with the DLC. There's nothing really extra to it. Like, Kaiba is going to be awesome, and then Bakugo will probably be a really cool fighting style. Grimjow I just like in general, and then Madara will probably be cool. But then they have, like, I like All Might as a character, but I don't think he's going to be a fun addition for gameplay mechanics. They have Biscuit from Hunter x Hunter. I don't, absolutely zero excitement for that character. If they were going to add, other than they have Toshiro. So if they were like, we need to add a female character, why would they should knock Toshiro and Biscuit out, add in frickin' like Yoruichi, and then why is Yuno not in there? That's so stupid. Forever stupid. Either that or change his attitude a bit. He needs to get Bakugo legitimately needs to be humbled. He needs to meet somebody similar to him that's just way more powerful. And every time Bakugo gets uppity, he just gets the shit smacked out of him. I like that he's an asshole. There's like, it's just a fun character compared to a lot of the other characters in My Academia. But realistically, somebody needs to humble the shit out of him. Because at this point, like, how many times he's had his ass saved and yet he's still a dick? It's like, how is that possible? How are all these people that keep saving your ass if you're going to treat them like shit every time, dude? Who do you think is more messed up as a villain? Gadget, Laxus, or Jalal? Messed up. Well, Jalal was way more messed up. Jalal's had a whole backstory about like, how fucked up it was, and then he spent like years doing stuff from that, killing who knows how many people, like enslaving others, and like messing with their like he literally made it so the Magic Council had to have a full reset and get all new members because Jalal also fucked up their entire government for for Fairy Tail in just a funny guy. The Magic Council, the fact that he pretty much as a single guy went and messed with that is pretty entertaining. I always liked Jalal a lot. Always liked him. Bakugo will likely become vigilante. That's what I was hoping for. I thought I was liking the idea that that was the point for the vigilante spinoff, is that Bakugo is gonna, eventually team up with these guys and become a member of their group, and because he feels more like he would make a good anti-hero than anything, but we don't know how that's gonna go. They should have added Yacht for DLC. Yeah, I don't understand a lot of their DLC choices. A lot of their DLC choices I think are lame. Yeah, the fact they're adding Majin Buu, I think that's stupid. Toshiro, I don't like. All Might, I don't like. God, why aren't they adding Who else was on that DLC list? Law, don't care about Law. I just wish that they added a lot more fun characters, or at least some characters from series that weren't in the game already, because it's supposed to be hey, it's Jump's 50th anniversary, let's celebrate it, and then it just feels like it's almost entirely Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, and Dragon Ball, and then the character cut, the create your own character thing is a stupid feature. They shouldn't have done that. They should have wasted any time on cutscenes like that or story mode. They literally should have just slapped together a couple things and all these characters are fighting. There's a lot of time, effort, and money they should have put towards certain aspects of Jump Force, and just put it towards characters. For real. Yeah, I think it's Fat Boo, but I wish that Majin Buu wasn't in it at all. Like, at all. I would have rather had a different character. Like, they already have like 5. They already have right now in the game, I think 5 Dragon Ball, 5 One Piece, 5 and 5 Naruto, and the game has like 50 characters, and like including Bleach, they make up half the game, and it's stupid. It doesn't feel like, hey, it's the Jump anniversary game. Celebrate our history. It's like, no, you're just riding on the cash cows again. Bakugo will be like, I don't want to sound like a future terrorist, but explode. Yeah, he comes off as somebody that needs to be on a watch list, 100%. 100%. I want and Noel for Jump Force, or else. So Noel I would like in the game, but the fact they announced Asta and Deku at the exact same time, and obviously the rivalry between their series, the fandoms, and but also the fact that the writers are friends, and they've been friends for a long time, that when you announce one dude's rival in a DLC pack, why would you not announce the other dude's rival? It was such a bad decision. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes. I don't know what was going on at corporate headquarters. I don't know what was going on during the production of the game at all when they were picking the characters to put in it, and they thought that was going to be a good idea. It wasn't a good idea. They should have realized that. I don't know what they were doing, but, all in all, I can't control what they do. Okay, between Gadget and Laxus, who's more messed up? Gadget, Torture Lucy, and Laxus. Laxus was more mentally messed up. Gadget had a more messed up backstory behind everything he was doing. Laxus definitely had a more messed up solution for it all. What are some of your video ideas? What are some of your ideas for the next Microdaming, Black Clover, and Boruto games? How they can improve on mistakes of the One's Justice was just kind of wonky. It felt kind of clunky. For Black Clover, I think what they legitimately should have done. So there's a phone game, and the phone game, it's like a turn-based. It's a turn-based RPG, and the way that Black Clover, like how much Tabata's gone into the power system, and like how they counter and how some abilities work versus others. I think a larger kind of style like that, where it's a turn-based RPG for Black Clover, would be a much better thing. Boruto, I wish the Naruto games would just get back to how they were in some of the older Naruto games, where it was just kind of that 2D layout. You used attacks, and then each character had their own techniques, and you had a way to, when you used the technique, you had a means to kind of set it up for a certain amount of power, just the way that the old Ninja games were. I think it was Ultimate Ninja. It was before Ninja Storm. I'd have to look up, but some of the older Naruto games for sure. The My Hero Academia ones, I think they just need I think they just need a better engine. I don't know. I don't know. Definitely should probably work on their whole kind of like scheme of what the people want versus like we got an idea for a game. Think of like what would probably actually work best for the game. Like I said, that the Black Clover phone game, I'm actually really wish that I could play because it looks fun. It looks enjoyable. I really wish I could play it. I don't know if it is though, but I just know that I wanted to play it. No more DBZ One Piece Naruto characters, add more characters. Yeah, that's been my entire standpoint for Jump Force is why there's so many characters they could add, and yet like obviously with Biscuit they had one token chick in the DLC list, and there's like complaints about like nobody cares about the complaints, but they exist of like, well, there's barely any female characters. Why would they not just add Medica? Medica Kurokami is the main character of a Shonen Jump manga, and she's the main character. And on top of being the main character, she was in the last Jump fighting game. So why wouldn't they just include her in this one? Why wouldn't they just include her in this one? They just had to update stuff. I don't even think she has any new moves since the last one, so they literally just had to update her model. Also, really quick, during the stream, just real fast, if anybody who's new and hasn't yet, I really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, check out my other videos, and if you haven't yet, thumbs up this stream, like the stream, befriend the like button and the subscribe button. And just wanted to show real quick before I got back to the rest of the stream. But for right now, 6 for Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball. Yeah, I don't like that. I think that's lame. You like Gildart's post time skip design? Yeah, it's actually his design post time skip is actually modeled after Ned Stark from Game of Thrones, because Mishima's a big Game of Thrones fan, which is real fun to look at because there's a couple Game of Thrones references in Outbreath, and I like that kind of like switch up, pay respects to Ned Stark by turning one of the biggest badasses in fairy tale to have like he's designed to have an homage to him. Has Jujutsu Kaisen gotten a color page already, or is this the first time? It's had other color pages. I think this is the first one since they've gone fully digital like this big color spread. At least that I can think of. I'm probably wrong on that aspect. I still want to reread through Jujutsu Kaisen soon, just because I've been really liking it. So I want to see what other I want to see what I've missed the first time we're reading it versus this. It will be 7 after this DLC pass is done. Yeah, they need to do more DLC characters. I don't know what they're doing. They need to add Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, Quincy. Yeah, but yeah, the one that a new guy that I would love for them to add is Denji. Add in fucking the Chainsaw Man. That would be so much fun to see him just go around, just rev up them chainsaws and go to town. And there'd be so many people who'd be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" But he'd probably be so much fun to play. I feel like that would just be the best. And then you could have it kind of like akin to like his character in the series, and every time he hits somebody with his chainsaws, he gets a little bit of stamina back. That'd be fun. I'd like that. I'm an avid supporter of the Chainsaw Man. More Jujutsu Kaisen, yes. Jujutsu Kaisen's awesome. I wish Yami and Stain were in the game too. Yami's a surprise that he's not in the game, because regardless of, so I've talked to a lot of I've talked to a fair amount of other Black Clover fans about, like, there's all the characters that people like. Some people don't like Asta. Most people, I'd say, like him. But the general consensus is it's similar to like For My Hero Academia. Is everyone that reads Black Clover likes Yami. He's just all around a badass, entertaining, fun guy. That's just what I see a lot of people go for. I haven't seen a lot in opposition of that. So the fact that he's not in Jump Force is very surprising. I'm also surprised Hiei's not in it. I know how popular Hiei is, and the fact that there's only Toguro and Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho, very strange. And there's only Kahlua, Hisoka, and Gon from Hunter x Hunter. And you'd think they'd add like Hiei or Miriam. because I know how popular those are over in Japan, especially Hiei. There's a lot of characters where it's like, why did they add Kaguya in the base game and not Madara? Why are there so many characters that should be in the game that aren't in the game? And what's annoying is this wasn't just like, hey, we're making a fighting game. This is, hey, we appreciate 50 years of our company and our licenses. So, we're going to have this big fun thing about it. But at the same time, they're not going to do that because it's going to be almost entirely Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. And all the other series are like, hey, we got one character in, hooray. I'm happy to get Kaiba to get a second Yu-Gi-Oh character, but at the same time, I'm like, why exactly is, you're getting like, you're getting just Asta from Black Clover. Like, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but how is there now going to be more Yu-Gi-Oh characters than Black Clover characters? Like, especially because Black Clover is, it's doing pretty well. It's been getting a lot of good hype. The manga's been selling good. The anime's been doing well. And you'd think you'd be adding the main character's rifle before you add random boring shit like Biscuit. Like, that was a dumb decision. Like, why would they even waste... If they wanted to do, like, a Togashi powerful female chick, why didn't they get Genkai and just put her in the game? I don't know. It's confusing. Everything about that is very confusing. 2D pixel art, Ninja Gaiden, Naruto style games. Yeah, the old PS2 ones I really liked. They should just go back to stuff like that. Kirishima would be cool to add to a nice tanky fighter. I doubt he would get in the game. He seems too small-time character for a big crossover game like that. Jump Force should have been done by someone else. I mean, the gameplay is... If you've played the gameplay is actually fun. It's the fact there's not enough characters. And, like, the character customization, I don't think should have been in the game because that's... As much as it's, like, nice to be like, yeah, we appreciate, all of our customers and fans, so we're going to let you make your own character to hang out with, all the ones that you like from our series. But then it's like, okay, where's all the other characters? Where's the characters I like? Like, what if you were a big fan of Toriko, and Toriko is, like, your biggest Shonen Jump thing? No Toriko characters in the game. No Mega Box characters in the game. No Siren... Well, probably not a lot of Siren fans. But there aren't any Siren characters in the game. There are a lot of... from a lot of the big series in there, they don't have a whole lot to pick from. They have to pick, like, the most, like, bland ones. The only one from, like, One Piece I was surprised about was they got Blackbeard. And then they did Sanji dirty by making so he can't do damage to girls. So, it's like, you have a Sanji main. All you gotta do is pick the 3 chicks to go up against the Sanji main. And then he's screwed. What does he do after that point? Nothing. He's done. If Irene lived after Avos, do you see Gildart's trying to flirt with her? Yeah, probably. Maybe you can dick the crazy out of her. Do you have any guys think that you can make a better story for Jump Force? I mean, yeah, for sure. Jump Force, they shouldn't have really focused on much of the story. It should have just been a fun... It literally could have had... You literally could have had fucking Goku get the Super Dragon Balls and say, I wish for the greatest tournament ever, and then all these characters show up. And then you wouldn't need to have any... you wouldn't need to really write anything beyond that, and then it's just all these characters, and you just have them interacting. You just get the voice actors to do interaction, or just do voice recordings for the dialogue, and then you just have the characters chatting with each other. And then you wouldn't even... Well, you'd still need to have that kind of conjoined art style, so it looks right together. They could have done so much better. You saw the recent Dragon Ball Super manga chapter. Yeah, it was boring. The last, 3 chapters have been so boring. And yet, how does Majin Buu keep up with Moro after the dude just wrecked Goku and Vegeta? And, Majin Buu is below casual Beerus, and yet Blue is enough that it could at least push him a bit. Probably, I don't know what percentage, but it's obviously not to the level that the dude flicked away Buu, and now Buu is somehow competing with Moro. It doesn't make any sense. Kinkuman and Jump Force, please. Kinkuman? I don't know that. Luffy, 4th gear, Snake Man versus Black Asta. Well, Snake Man would win. Asta, he doesn't have anything to really go against Luffy at the moment. Obviously, his key sensing is useful, but Luffy also has, he's got observation hockey, and he's just all around currently more powerful. But also, if there's no magic for Asta to negate, then he just has two swords, and they're still swords, but it's not going to do much against Luffy. Uji versus Mito had a color page. Yeah, that was like 20 or 30 chapters ago, wasn't it? Yeah, you're right. Do you see Wise doing what Gray did in Avatar, where he pretends to turn on the crew to get info on a villain? You actually see him turning on them for real. I don't know. I could see him doing some undercover stuff. He would probably be more truthful about it, but I don't know. It would depend on the situation. It definitely feels like something that his character could do, though. Me seeing Grimjow. Sarcasm. What a nice guy. Grimjow's a cool dude. Definitely the Ant King from Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, Miriam should be in the game. You see Gildarts and Yabi, hiccup. Being drinking buddies. Yeah, they probably get along. If you had fusion of Black Clover, who would like to see Licked and the first Wizard King fusion? Yeah, that'd be weird. Well, they have magic fusion. They'll just can combine their spells, not like people. And Escalade, the main lead goes from Yusuke type, from power abuse to a wild one to remind everyone of Marileona, how she changed in wild training. Should Asta be like that? Asta, again, I'm really curious to what Asta's going to be like after this arc, because he's definitely going to have to. He's going to have to probably figure out what exactly is he can put in all this, because there's going to be a big thing of with Licked and involvement, especially once he fully wakes up. Like, how is he going to interact with Asta? What is he going to bring about? Bring about the future relation between the humans and the elves, and what exactly is going to be going on with him and the demon of the grimoire, of the 5-leaf grimoire he's got. I'm a Siren fan. Yeah, I like Siren too. I'm sad that it got Rush canceled. Rush canceling is always a pain. It makes me sad. Wait. Shiki versus Jack and Joe, or Natsu versus Georg. Which fight are you looking forward to more? Oh, Natsu versus Georg. I'm super excited for that. I want to see more Natsu. I like Shiki, but Natsu's my boy, and I definitely want to see him go against. Because the thing about Dragon Slayers versus something different from relatively any other type of fight within Fairy Tail is Dragon Slayers. Dragon Slayers generally have a very simple to understand power. They have enhancement of whatever their attribute is. They'll have a couple techniques, and they usually have 1 to 2 like hacks powers behind it. You usually got one tricky spell that you can type out. Something like Sting, how he has that mark that can make it so you can't move. Rogue can become intangible. Wendy's got buffs, stuff like that. But other than that, they're just extremely durable. They're extremely powerful, and just a fight between two Dragon Slayers is gonna just be a big brawl, and it's gonna be a lot of fun because Dragon Slayer fights again are just are all around enjoyable. To where it's not like I have to figure out a way around my opponent's weird ability. I got to strategize to figure out what exactly I can do here. It's just like, no, get the fuck in there, throw some punches, throw some attacks, and just go wild and see who's standing tall at the end, which is fun. You always get a lot of like weird strategic fights. The main characters usually don't have a very complicated power, but they always end up getting placed up against a villain or opponent that has some form of weird ability. But it's always fun when you just have a simple, like long, well put together brawl between the two characters. Always fun and enjoyable. Ruby versus Asta. Ruby Rose? Which Ruby? Who do you think is going to be... do you think that All Might is better than Yami as a teacher and a fighter? He's definitely a better teacher. Yami is a better fighter because I talked about the thing about Yami, like the thing that puts him high up, as a captain is the fact all his abilities, all his spells kind of combo together. Like they're very versatile, and they all kind of like fit together in these puzzle pieces. All Might is definitely a much better teacher. I mean, that's just that doesn't take a lot of analysis to know that All Might's a better teacher than Yami is. Moro beat Goku and Vegeta because he absorbed their power, but for some reason he can't absorb Boo's powers. Yeah, I got that. But even like the like minute or two that Vegeta was in Super Saiyan Blue is so far beyond what Buu should be capable of. Again, like Majin Buu was like Beerus could flick him and beat him, and yet the couple attacks that were thrown in the blue form should be beyond Majin Buu. It's just kind of silly that he's able to fight him at all. If it was like a new form, or we knew something was going on with Majin Buu, or someone was giving them his power, it'd be different. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense, personally. I'm hoping to get a 1v1 fight with Weiss and Rebecca's next arc. Oh, she's going to get her ass kicked. Why would you want that? He can train her, but, like, them fighting together, he's going to absolutely demolish her. That's not a fight. Naruto and Asta fusion. What would that be like? A loud, extremely humble person who's just like he wants to get in your face to compliment you. That might be it. Tegus lived and told Mavis and Zeref the truth. How do you think they would interact? I mean, Zeref wouldn't care. Mavis would care. Mavis would probably be really awkward about it, but I think they would. I think they would have some resolve. I feel bad for August, because August, a lot of the characters that die, they either died or they had some nice like. Well, they either died like normally, or they had this nice like serenity moment. The thing about August is like neither Mavis or Zeref ever knew about him, so he's just gonna be forgotten about and remembered as this old powerful guy that nobody really knew anything about. Poor dude. Ruby versus Asta. Asta would kick the shit out of Ruby. He would demolish the hell out of her. Who do you think? The witches in Black Clover are different species and are very powerful. Yeah, I feel like they feel more like a mutation of humans, just like some slightly altered variation of them. Because the Witch Queen is maybe the Witch Queen is like an actual witch, and she's more of like a different species, and then all the other witches are like offspring of hers, to where they're more of like diluted witches and maybe like partially human, and maybe that's why they don't live as long. I don't know. Speculation. So how does the main character from Jujutsu Kaisen compare to other shonen protagonists like Deku, Asta, and Shiki in terms of power currently? In terms of power between them, the top are probably Deku are Shiki and Asta. Asta is definitely the most durable. I'd say Shiki has the most firepower. Yuji is the weakest, but he has the potential to one shot each of them, because he has this. There's this kind of like a power phenomenon that can happen to anybody that's a shaman or really anybody who uses their energy source in Jujutsu Kaisen, the cursed energy. It's like once you hit somebody with a physical attack, if your cursed energy hits within like it's like 0.000001 second, that the energy impact like distorts space. So you're pretty much hitting somebody with a durability bypassing attack. So it's gonna fuck you up regardless. I feel like there's you're gonna need like showings beforehand to be able to stand up, that like get back up after taking hits like that. If you end up getting within that sight of just getting smacked like it, Deku has absolutely no chance of probably getting up from that. I think Shiki probably has the best chance of it, because he could probably zero gravity the area and soften the impact a lot. And then maybe Asta, because he's just a goddamn durability freak. Do you think that Shiki's been given too many attacks too early, or is it not? So at this point, it's lacking. Should be no. The whole thing about Shiki though, Shiki's much more about mobility, and a lot of what he's been doing, like a lot of his attacks are super basic. It's like he's had like a punch. He's had like a gravity ball. He had like the smaller ones. A lot of what his power is going to need to be is like the approach, and when he gets up there, not just much more of just this all-around assault juggernaut and just relentless attack. But a lot of Shiki's attacks, I feel like he probably creates them like shortly on the spot. It might go along with his mobility and might be kind of creating things as it goes. I actually have a really interesting theory about Shiki I want to put out soon. I'm going to do a video on. It's one of those kind of like theories where there's nothing to it. It's just you had an idea and it's an interesting theory. That's why I'm kind of like hesitant in putting it out right now. I'll probably get to it, further along the line, and then see whether or not people are interested in it. I don't feel like people look at it and be like, I now believe this. Like, my hope are people see it and be like, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool theory you got there going on, guy. And I can say thanks. Appreciate it. Appreciate what you did. Are you going to review Pandora Hearts? Maybe. Well, I'm going to review it all. Or I'm going to read it all. But I don't know if I'm going to do a review on the whole series. I'll probably talk about it in a stream at least. Lorax, I meant Rebecca and Wise both fight villains on their own. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. I do agree that Boo is too powerful, but Dragon Ball, anything. Yeah, well, yeah, Dragon Ball, they're not consistent for shit. UG territorial expansion hasn't even been seen yet. Yeah, I love the territorial expansions. That's a really fun thing in Jujutsu Kaisen. It reminds me a lot of like Bankai, because it would also count to like the resurrection form from Bleach also, or like I don't remember what the Stern Ritter's form was called, but it's like you have a group and you know that they have a specific power up. And obviously with the Soul Reapers, they had at least Shikai if they were going to be worth shit, and then if they were big characters, Bankai. And that's just a thing that you get in Jujutsu Kaisen if you're strong enough shaman, or just cursed energy in general, is you get territorial expansion. So I always get really excited wondering what a character's territorial expansion is going to look like. Definitely a really fun part about Jujutsu Kaisen that again, we've only seen a couple, but I've enjoyed it every single time because they're all cool looking and very spooky. Rim from Blue Exorcist versus Gray. Oh, Rin or versus Gray. I mean, season 1, he can barely do anything in season 1. He just has a fire sword. He doesn't even learn to control it until like halfway through the series. Do you think that Aleos and Mia will ever get memories of their past lives and become Zeref and Mavis again? I have actually talked about that specifically with one of my friends multiple times. I don't know. It's possible, but I feel like it would kind of hurt their whole kind of like nice ending that the two of them had. I really liked. I really like Zeref and Mavis' story. I think Zeref is extremely underrated. And again, I'm still planning out the Zeref video. There's still some parts of it that I'm still looking into, and I want to reread through their story again before I even start gathering what exactly I want to talk about. I've just been thinking about the story in general, and parts about Zeref, and like just in like the existence alone of how many things about Natsu he kind of like contrasts, I think is really interesting. Imagine Noelle with Dragon Force and her Valkyrie dress. Yeah, Noelle's I love Noelle as a character. Did you know that Asta and Noelle, their English voice actors, just got engaged? I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. What commandment member do you see Gray beating with his devil sling magic? I feel like Gray could beat all of them, because devil sling doesn't just do more against demons, it also counteracts their abilities. So he could probably do some trickery shit on there. I mean, especially he's got the true ice arrows, and he literally can just peg someone from miles away, and you're not shrugging off the true ice because it voids out durability the way that it works. And a lot of the commandments were very disappointing. Like, I mean, look at Monspiet. Monspiet was like one of the strongest ones, and he didn't do shit. And then Derriere, she's only worth anything if she's got like a high combo with her power star. Or was it combo star, I think actually was hers. So as long as you just take her out before she gets in like a high combo, you're good. He would really only have to look out for a couple of the members. And even like some of the hacks, like Grey Road, because like the way that her commandment worked, it wouldn't really matter because Grey doesn't need to kill her. He can just freeze her solid, and then bam, that's also Demon Ice, so it's canceling out all her shit. Yeah, Noelle and Asta are canon in real life. They're voice actors. Fun fact. Julius versus Laxus. Laxus can use very lot. Laxus would get killed. Laxus would die. It's different than like Natsu, because Natsu, not only is Natsu like time resistant, but he's also this fire can also burn magic. But Laxus, the second he gets hit by almost any of Julius's spells, he's gonna die. Julius is definitely Wizard's he's definitely Spriggan tier. He's a cut above practically everyone but the demon in within Black Clover. He's just a big boy. He's the all around big boy. All the Wizard Kings are probably gonna be like hella high rides. Hi cat, listen, I'm doing stuff right now. Go back to sleep. Yuji and Denji are two MCs I can't wait to see more power-ups. Yuji's definitely is going to be fun. Denji's power-ups are just going to be wild no matter what goes on, because his current power, his normal like combat form by itself is crazy as hell. I've been wondering what his future power advancements are going to be like. Probably at one point, because I don't know what it's called, but there's a type of circular saw, and the way that it like cuts way more efficiently and like way easier is it has two blades, and and pretty much one goes one way and one rotates the opposite way. So you have the teeth pretty much clamp, instead of it like the blades hitting a spot and continuously doing a circle. It's the teeth are pretty much biting down on the part and severing it like that. So I'm wondering if maybe he could get that in his chainsaws and just become like an all-around sharper beast, which again would be really cool. Actually, I think one of my favorite moments of his is when he's fighting the Bat Devil and he puts his chainsaw in the dude's arm, and then just because the blades are going away, he pretty much rides up the dude's arm just on the chainsaw blades. And I was like, God damn it, that was so fucking metal, and it was just such a fun time watching. Chainsaw Man, one of my friends, he almost would only get into like normal shonen like stuff, and then because he's like, I guess I'll give Chainsaw Man a try, because he would never get into really any dark stuff, and he's like, it's in Shonen Jump, so I guess I'll give it a try. And now he really like now he's getting towards the more darker stuff. The gateway that is Chainsaw Man. Missed some of my comments above. Oh, hang on. What did I miss? Oh, Escanor versus Gildarts. Yeah, Esteros' commandment wouldn't affect Actinogus since he's hatred for dragons. No, because it wouldn't affect him. I feel like it wouldn't affect him just because of the fact he's so absurdly high above him. Actinogus is just absurdly more powerful than Esterosa. Escanor versus Gildarts. It would depend on if he got the thing with Gildarts. The second he gets that disassembly spell off, if it affects you, you're done. And unless you have a way to counter it post, he'd be done. And Escanor isn't a guy to really dodge, so disassembled. Telling him, good to see you too. Artist finished Black Clover, TP's. The trade paperbacks. Oh, the volumes. That's good. Are you gonna read the manga soon to catch up? Because if you have the Shonen Jump app or use Manga Plus, that's all official stuff, so you can read the official chapters. And so they're nicer HD quality. They got official translations, and all around it's helping the official release, which is good. Gildarts versus Julius. Julius would kill him. Again, Julius. There's legitimately only so many characters in Fairy Tail that Julius can take, and it's not just like Julius is very powerful. It's just time magic. His level of time magic is just obviously destructive. Do you think, by the way, I met Gray from Season 1 of Fairy Tail versus Ring. Season 1, well, that's like what, hang on, I sneeze. That's like what, up through Tower of Heaven, I think? Phantom Lord? I mean, at that point, it's literally just the dude with the fire sword who has, no combat experience versus Gray, who's got a bunch of combat experience. So still probably Gray. I mean, Gray could... And he's also frozen fire. So he's got him at that point. And even though there's some good, heat feats for the blue flames in Blue Exorcist, there's nothing really to get, an absurd temperature for it. There's, cutting... He's been able to melt metal, but there's nothing kind of, But I don't know, it would be kind of like Natsu having just his body fire melting the entire Grand Magic Game Stadium. I can't remember what it was called. It has some hard flower, Latin name or some shit. Melting an entire stadium like that from, what it was, 500 or 600 meters away. Very impressive. Ultir versus Julius. Well, Ultir is just, a time creature now, the actual one, unless you mean the old lady one. So otherwise, it wouldn't affect her. But she can't really do anything to him. Well, actually, she could hit him with third origin and then just make him very powerful for a short amount of time, and then then he'd be out at that point. Wouldn't be able to continue fighting. No more magic. Chainsaws in the legs. That'd be interesting as well. Maybe just different kinds of chainsaws. Maybe he'll have a bigger chainsaw, like a huge chainsaw, or one that's extremely long, or something like that. Do you think My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and Eden Zero should end soon? What? I don't think of them shonen that didn't suffer from overlasting effects. No. So a lot of the big shonens, the reason that in the long run I think that they end up hurting a bit is like a lot of them don't plan ahead as much as they should. Tabata definitely plans ahead. Hiro Mishima, he generally does pretty fine. It does pretty well. There's only a couple of times where like he'll have like a plot point that seems like it's abandoned, like Rogue Shadow. My Hero Academia, I don't think they have any of those problems either. I think it just depends. As long as they don't drag out the story just for the sake of dragging it out, and they don't do anything that really just is contradictory, they'll be fine. Yuji and Sukuna and Asta and Devil both have a great both be great to see develop. Well, Asta and his demon, they've only had like one part where they've interacted, and it wasn't a negative interaction, whereas Yuji and Sukuna they don't get along. Like Sukuna just does not. If it wasn't for the fact that he would die in the process, he would be perfectly fine killing Yuji. What's Brigand you see beating Julius? August, Irene, Demaria, Jacob could if he didn't know that he was there. Obviously, stealth in, and then he wouldn't see him clap, then he's done. Probably one of the things we don't really know in Fairy Tail is demons, because they seem ageless. They don't seem immortal, but they seem unaging. So time magic probably wouldn't affect him that way. You're trying to age him, it's not going to do anything. So probably Larcade and Bloodman as well. And then maybe because Agile, you would just hit him with the big AoE, and then maybe be able to get that opening. He's definitely Spriggan 12th tier. He definitely would also beat God. He definitely beat God Serena. He definitely beat Brandish. He definitely beat. Those are probably the. Invul, it would depend on if Invul hits him first. With Invul, it would be literally who hits each other first. Get that Thought Lock, or Time Magic the dude out. I'll be reading Blue Exorcist manga trade soon, and to read Rex, totally enjoying the anime. Yeah, it's fun. So if you have the Shonen Jump subscription service, which is $2 a month, you can read all of Blue Exorcist. They have all of it on there. I did that a month and a half ago or something. I read all Blue Exorcist, which was pretty enjoyable. I had fun with that. Had a good time going through all that. Now I'm caught up. I think the next chapter is in 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks. How do you feel about the time travel in Fairy Tail? How did you feel about time travel? It was fine. It didn't feel overused. It felt like he had the plan set up, and he knew what he's doing. One of the things Hiroshima definitely knows is time fuckery. He's always been in time fuckery. Again, I'm sorry if my chair is too loud. If you can hear that squeaking, I want to get a new chair at some point. I don't mind that the chair. It's a pretty alright chair. It's comfortable enough, but the squeaking is annoying. Asta versus Rin. Asta would win. Because it's still magic in Blue Exorcist, I believe. So he still would be able to counteract it. Well, if Finger's fast enough to hit Julius, isn't August fast enough? Did blitz August for a second. Finger? Oh, you mean... Wait, what? Finger. Oh, do you mean Brandish? I'm confused. Light versus All Shonen Jump. Well, Light's just a human. And unless he knows their name, he can't do shit. Asta and Rin team up would be interesting. It would be a good nice team up. Well, if Invul is fast enough, I meant. Yeah, it would depend entirely with Invul and Julius who gets the attack off first. If he gets that Thought Lock, or if Julius, uses one of his time acceleration spells and kills him. Very powerful dude. It's Julius. The fact that he's time magic alone is just it's a very devastating ability. Very powerful, and all around just gonna hit hard no matter who he's going up against. Anybody who hasn't yet, again, if you're new to the stream, you're not subscribed yet, I would appreciate if you would subscribe, thumbs up the video, and check out my other videos. Okay, then just getting back to the stream itself. 1 second, I'm just opening up something. I'm gonna end the stream probably in the next couple minutes. Game of Thrones on in 25 minutes, so get ready for that. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I might start the streams an hour early. Well, it's not gonna be that long, I guess. I shouldn't have to change it because there's only a couple I think it's like 6 or 8 episodes in this Game of Thrones season, so it's only gonna be a couple episodes of the stream. With Noelle or Mimosa, I can't pick. I like both of them a lot. Probably Noelle if I had to pick, but it's not an easy pick. So could Gildart be fast enough to fight Julius since he blitzed August? Or yeah, but he would have. The only thing he could do is get the. The only thing he could do at that point is get off the disassembly spell. But if he disassembles him, that's just going to be a bunch of small Juliuses all casting time magic. No, Nozzle versus Asta. Asta would get his ass kicked. Nozzle's too smart for him. Too battle experienced. Reed Destro is an idiot at this chapter of My Hero Academia. He's not making good decisions. He needs to not fuck around. He needs to squash these villains like coming into the city and not just not. They're gonna end up screwing him over because they're gonna give him the time, and then Giganto is gonna show up and just wreck everybody. If Yami would die, would you be mad or happy? Depends entirely how he died, because it would depend on whether he gets like a cool out moment, maybe gets like a good spread or at least a full page on his death. As long as it doesn't disrespect him and it has the impact that then it's fine. When characters die, it needs to at least have if they die or feel like they're going to die, it needs to have a good point of impact for both the reader and the characters around them. Destro, wait, you think Destro might be Gigantomachia? No, that'd be weird. How would that make sense? Todoroki versus Noelle. Noelle would kick the shit out of Todoroki. That'd be a horrible matchup. She just hit him with that Sea Dragon's Roar, and then it's over. On the 29th Golden Week starts, so 1 week break. Wait, this month? Oh yeah, that's why chapters are early this week. Chapters are all early this week. I went and looked at their schedule, and today was to the 21st, and the next official release date for all the big Shonen Jump stuff, weekly Shonen Jump stuff, is the 26th. So we're getting it 2 days early. So we'll probably get it Wednesday night, Tuesday night or Wednesday night for everything. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be nice to see. It's gonna be nice to see all this stuff kind of showing up a little bit earlier this week. But yeah, then a week break. Oh, Golden Week, painful. That's gonna be a week of needing to catch up on other stuff to fill in the void. I'm gonna read Pandora Hearts. I'm gonna read Made in Abyss. I might catch up on Ruler of Their Land if you've ever read that. Urza versus Asta. Probably no. It would be Urza. She's an all-around better swordswoman than Asta. She's got way more experience too. Juvia versus Noelle. Juvia, because she can just manipulate the water around it, and then completely just play it out. Because her level of water manipulation is better than what Noelle is gonna have going on for her. She can only cast her Sea Dragon Roar a certain number of times, and as long as Juvia either manipulates it to miss or just turns into water, it's like, what exactly is Noelle gonna do? Bond versus Yami. Yami would probably win. Yami would win if it wasn't for. Well, actually, no, because Bond doesn't have immortality anymore. So the second that Dimension Slash if he lands the Dimension Slash, then Bond is done. That's the only thing he has that could take out Bond. Do you think that Black Clover have a better teamwork than My Hero Academia? Yes, and the reason that is most of Black Clover's fights aren't. A lot of their big fights aren't asked to how can I think of a new technique or do whatever to beat this guy. It's all around how can we use teamwork and how can your powers work towards mine in order to optimize our fighting capabilities in this. Versus Bakugo. Again. Right now is super OP. Is pretty high up on the ladder. I mean, that's That's not even that fair right now. He just got a fucking big power up. Do you like the Boruto manga? Yes, but it's too slow. The thing about Boruto and Dragon Ball Super is that they're so slow. The animes have too much. The animes drag stuff out. Like Dragon Ball Super's anime drags stuff out way too long, and Boruto's anime has too much filler. But both their mangas are so goddamn slow. I can't take it. It hurts. Are you excited for Samurai 8? Yeah, I'm gonna read Samurai 8 definitely. Soccer versus Noel. Soccer sucks. Soccer loses automatically. Soccer's lame. Never gonna like her. Noel and Nozzle versus Agio. Agio would still win. They don't have enough. They don't have enough water to produce to take him out. And once he grabs him, drains him out. And you think Margear's Memento Mori could destroy Bond even if he had his immortality? Yes, because Memento Mori doesn't. It's not something that he would be able to withstand at that point because it voids out the concepts of life and death and just erases you. You definitely take him out. Okay, other than that, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna end it a little bit. It's gonna be probably not be as long as normal until Game of Thrones is over. Obviously, Game of Thrones. We need to get over to that and watch the episode. It's gonna be out officially in like 20 minutes, so I'm gonna go get ready for that. Gonna be. I got a couple more videos. I got a couple more theory videos. Yeah, hopefully, I really hope you guys enjoy them. I'm gonna put out throughout the week because I'm gonna during the gap because obviously Fairy Tail is every 2 weeks versus most of the other stuff that's every week. I'm gonna try and do more theory videos. I got a couple up and ready that I'm gonna put out. So during that week we can, even though we gotta wait, we're only halfway there at that point. We still get some stuff to talk about during the time over. Laxus? Well, yeah, Laxus is much stronger than Yami right now. Brandish versus the Balm Alliance. Brandish should probably just snap her fingers. If Naruto anime never was real, would you really be excited for Boruto? No, because it's the same thing. It's not that I don't like the Boruto characters and I don't like Boruto as a character. Really, the cast, the characters, the story, the tone. It's the fact that the anime has too much filler and the manga is too slow. Those are the two things about Boruto that I have a problem with. If you fix those things, I'd be perfectly fine with it. All right, cool, Rex. Hope to see you in your Zara video soon. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that probably this week since there's no Fairy Tail chapter, and then probably put it out. I'm gonna try and put it out Saturday or sometime soon. Zareth will take much. It'll be shorter than my Natsu video, but I think I'm gonna have it's gonna have more to talk about because Zareth's a very complicated character, and I don't think a lot of people that just kind of like would look at him and say like, what do you think about Zareth? And they'd probably just say like he's emo. And they don't understand anything about his backstory. They don't understand anything going on with him. That to really kind of like grasp all the writing aspects behind Zareth. Again, Zareth I think is very underrated. What is my cat doing? Hey, get down from there. I keep a water cup. She's she keeps putting her face in it. I don't know why. You have a water dish. I'm trying to exit out of the stream. You're making it longer. I don't know if you could hear her in the background being an asshole. What's your thoughts on Ladros and potential later on? I mean, I like that it made sense. Like, obviously he was a bad guy. He's a dick. And then it was Asta broke out the magic stones, and then now he's a good guy. And obviously with what we know about Mars and the way that the Diamond Kingdom is, it makes sense that he's, after that point, he's thinking clearer and he's not coming off as just some douche evil guys. Now I'm like, well, I've been fucked up for a while, but I'm looking to get better. Bonkai. Seriously though, mages can still move, and think though Julius' time magic, there is nothing to stop Laxus with some lightning built to free himself. Well, he doesn't need to. Julius doesn't need to get him in chronostasis. He can just hit him with one of those orbs that accelerates you through time. And just age him into dust. It's just time magic OP as hell. Like in terms of magical quantity and like, that I think they're fine. It's the fact that Julius has time magic, and then he can also reverse his own wounds through time magic. Black Asta or Spirit Dive, I like the Black Asta. I think it's pretty sick. Says Unitech's light speed or just dodge? It seems more like he can just dodge at light speed. What is happening? How is it that I'm like trying to close out? More people showing up. If we can hit him in the first place, Julius would just kill Laxus. Yeah, he's got too much hacks with this stuff. Laxus has a bigger arsenal, but Julius obviously again with that goddamn time magic, 2 OP. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good Easter Sunday. If you haven't yet, I really appreciate you thumbs up the stream, subscribe to the channel, and check out my other videos. I'm gonna get some more reviews up this for the next couple days, and a couple more theories videos. So we can talk to more about what's going on with just series in general, and really just again keep the discussion up. So other than that, Bakugo versus Yang from Ruby. Bakugo would probably kill the shit out of her, really. Bakugo would mess her up. So again, I've been on trying for 20 minutes. Wait, because I couldn't get on. Wait, what is it? What are you trying to do, Joshua? I'm confused. Because I couldn't get on. I've been trying for 20 minutes. Oh, are you trying for the stream? I'm sorry if you've been trying to get in the stream and you haven't been until just now and I'm ending it. I'm ending it because Game of Thrones is about to start. I want to watch the episode. But after the season, I'm gonna go back to just kind of like going for probably longer, like hour and a half to 2 hour periods. I would have gone on longer, but Game of Thrones is starting in like 15 minutes, and I really want to watch it. And it's the final season, so I can't miss out. And I hope you guys also enjoy it. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good time, and we'll chat more about other stuff. But leave some comments in my videos if you have any more that you want me to ask, and I'll try to answer them. But other than that, again, thanks to everyone for showing up. And again, these streams they'll get back to being longer streams after the Game of Thrones season. But other than that, thank you all for showing up.